So throughout this month, we're addressing different topics and things that are big questions within our society in terms of how we deal with them as Christians, and also trending things that are going on within social media and in our schools. And this week, we're going to talk about the subject of race. Most specifically, we're going to be asking the question, why should you and I care about race? Now, here's the thing. Race is an uncomfortable subject, and it's uncomfortable for a bunch of different reasons. Like, we avoid it for specific reasons. Like, number one, it makes us feel weird. Like, it makes us feel weird to point out that other people look different than us, have different culture than us, have different terms of meaning than we do, and so it makes us feel weird when we begin to point those things out or begin to show that we have differences. It seems like everyone is mad about what's going on in society involving race. Like, the second we bring it up, it feels like someone gets angry because you are infringing upon their culture, their beliefs, or what's going on or what's happened in their background and life. People also get upset or feel uncomfortable because they feel like it's a conversation for someone else. Like, it should be dealt with in politics, it should be dealt somewhere else in which we don't have to be, and we can kind of just live within our own sphere, and we can live within our own society, in our own homes, and we don't have to deal with it at all whatsoever. The thing is that we need to realize is that sometimes those conversations may make us feel uncomfortable. Sometimes the most uncomfortable conversations are the most important. The ones that feel like they are most tense and most ridden with conflict can be the ones that we need to sort out the most in order to help reform and rebuild our society, to mend relationships and bring restoration to the culture around us. It is up to us, and it is up to you as a middle school or a high schooler to recognize and work towards problems and find solutions in order to work out our society, to be able to help and bring growth and healing with the good news of the gospel. And race isn't only important to us because we want to be able to help our society, help our world around us, help our city, help our school. It's also important to us because it's important to the Lord. See, God has crafted and formed every single one of us in His image. He has taken each person, no matter what skin color, no matter what ethnicity, no matter what background, and has formed every single person as a perfect image of His Son. And therefore, if God's image is in all of us, and He has formed each one of us in His likeness, no matter what skin color, no matter what ethnicity, we are all equals in God's eyes, no matter our race. And the Bible is not silent on this issue at all. In fact, the Apostle Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament, actually talks about race time and time again and urges the people of Israel and the ones he is writing to, and even you and me, to actually consider coming together under this issue of race. In Galatians 3:26 through 28, Paul says this, "For in Christ Jesus you are all sons of God through faith. For many of you were baptized into Christ, have put on Christ. Therefore, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is neither male or female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus." Paul tells us that the cross, that Jesus Christ's death on the cross and His resurrection levels the playing field. That we are all one. That He has come for every single one of us. And that there is no elite standard when it comes to race. There is no person that is degraded because of the way they look like. It is all based upon His love, care, and mercy on the cross for every single one of us. Paul reminds us that in Christ we are all one. Every single one of us are all together into one group. Jesus' desire for us was to be for each other, and other than that, nothing else should separate us. In Ephesians 2:14, Paul continues and he says this, "For He Himself is our peace, who has made us both one and has broken down in His flesh the dividing wall of hostility by abolishing the law of commandments expressed in ordinances, that He might create in Himself one new man in place of the two, so making peace, and might reconcile us both to God in one body through the cross, therefore thereby killing the hostility." When Jesus Christ died on the cross, He made a way for us to be able to reach out to the neighbors around us, to heal the society that we live in, and be able to mend and reconcile the differences that we have. And the main idea that we have for this week that I really want you guys to begin to focus on and see out of these texts is that because of Jesus, we can be one when we're not the same. We can be one when we are not the same. See, oneness is not the same as sameness, okay? Oneness is not the same as sameness. Our goal is not for all of us to be the same. All of us have differences. All of us look different. All of us have different things that we have within our life. Some of us have different skin color. Some of us have a different sex or gender. Some of us have different quirks about ourselves. Some of us look different, have different hair color. It doesn't matter. All of us are unique. And Christ does not call us to be a specific look, a specific pattern, a specific type. But what he calls us to is to be unified and united under his cross. And part of it, all of this, is noticing and seeing that each one of us are constructed and made differently. See, noticing is a part of being human. Seeing and noticing the fact that you and I are different is okay. That's completely okay. Seeing and noticing that we have other different experiences, different types of look, different things that have happened within our background is completely and utterly okay. It enables us to celebrate what makes us different. We should never look down upon someone because of their differences. We should never push someone to the side because they are different than us. We should recognize and realize that their differences bring something greater to the group. So this is what this means. This means that not only do I see that you are different, I respect your differences that come with unique experiences. That those who are different just simply have different experiences than we do. Just because someone has a different skin color than us doesn't mean that they are lower on some sort of hierarchy. They have a greater or different experience than we do. It also means that though your experiences are different than mine, they're just as valuable. That me and you, though we have different experiences, we have just as valuable things that have occurred and happened in our past that God is working through and using. It also means that I am willing to not only accept those differences, but also learn from them because I care about you. We should be willing to sit down and have conversations with other people who have different experiences, different things that occur, and we should be willing to listen to them despite our past and background. That though that may not have happened to us, we should be willing to sit down with other people who have different experiences, different issues within society, and listen to what's hurting them, what's harming them, and what they are going through. And so my application, what I want you guys to do this week, as you're kind of encountering this subject and talking about it in your houses, I want you to do two different things. Number one, I want you to pay attention to you. I want you to think about the way that you think of other people. Like when you encounter someone different than you, someone that looks different than you, someone that speaks different than you, someone that is just comprised and just acts different than you act, how do you think of them? Do you think of them as lesser? Do you think of them in a negative light? Do you think of them based upon prejudices that you may have? I want you to think about those things, and I want you to begin to bring the gospel of Christ in and remind yourself, absolutely remind yourself that we are looking for oneness. We are looking for unity. We are looking for love, not to separate them away from us in our mind, but to bring them into the fold. And the second thing I want you to do is pay attention to others. That you look and you see that there are other people around you that are different, and that is completely okay. And if you ever see someone being looked down upon, hurt, or ignored simply because of their skin color or because they are different, I want you to reach out to that person, be brave and step up and show the kindness and love and unity of Christ to them. So students, I want you to talk about this in your groups. I want you to talk about your experiences. I want you to talk about things that you share, and I want you to be open and honest about things that you are struggling with.